KSAT12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A small group of students taking a big stand, hoping to raise awareness about suicide.
Yeah, they rallied outside of Reagan High School where a classmate named Alonzo Jones killed himself in the weight room. They're also taking to Twitter with the hashtag Justice for Alonzo.
Devin Clark has more of the group's message and how the school is responding.
We have been chanting justice for Alonzo.
They're smaller numbers, but this group of students, mostly from Reagan High School, is taking a huge stand after they feel a suicide on campus was swept under the rug by the school principal during a speech over the intercom.
She didn't address any of the issues. She didn't address the concern for suicide awareness.
Monday, 16-year-old Alonzo Jones's body was found unconscious in the school's weight room. The medical examiner ruled his death a suicide. Juma Yakub says Alonzo was someone he considered a friend.
We had the same lunch period together, so every time I would see him at lunch, I would sit with him and we would have our laughs together.
Despite his caring personality, Juma says Alonzo was the constant target of bullying, picked on for the clothes he wore and his race.
They would call him like really bad words, like the N-word.
He says they did try to get help from school officials.
And one time we went to the office together. We filed a report on some bullies.
We reached out to the Northeast Independent School District, which provided the following statement. We continue to investigate, but at this point, we have absolutely no indication that Alonzo was having issues with any other students. There are no reports to administrators. When a report is filed regarding bullying, we investigate everyone. In this case, though, there haven't been any. Today, students remembering Alonzo wore a red ribbon around their wrists in his honor. As they grieve his untimely death, they're focusing on his bright spirit and the dreams they say he never got to realize.
One time I asked him, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he told me it doesn't matter. He just wants to have a job that will make everybody around him happy and make everybody proud.
And the students tell me that Jones's mother works here as a biology teacher, but she hasn't been back here since his suicide. Reporting in Stone Oak, Devin Clark, KSAT 12 News.
Late this afternoon, NEISD sent a statement about the investigation into these students' claims. It includes, quote, there has also been an assertion in the community that Northeast ISD is somehow sweeping the situation under the rug. We are not. In fact, an investigation began immediately and is still ongoing. We are interviewing students, staff, and anyone else who may have relevant information. We've reached out and intend to work with Alonzo's mother and family to obtain any relevant information, recognizing and respecting that this tragedy is still recent for them, end quote. You can read the entire statement on our website, KSAT12. Just click on the story. Also, anyone considering suicide, know that you are not alone. There are people that care. One number you can call is the Suicide Prevention Hotline. That number, 1-800-273-8255.
The coronavirus patient taken from JBSA Lackland to Methodist Texan Hospital Tuesday remains in stable condition tonight. Now, if there are more confirmed cases in the future, it's not yet known if patients would be brought to the same hospital. Jesse Degollado is live outside the hospital where the chief medical officer described the procedures and precautions that are being taken. Jesse?
Well, that chief medical officer of the Methodist healthcare system says he has every confidence in those procedures and practices because he says they've been proven to work.
And this is not a process that's defined by us as Methodist healthcare system. These are well-established processes around the country in the infectious disease world, and specifically as specified by the Centers for Disease Control.
Now, he says his staff already has trained and practiced what they need to do to protect themselves and to keep from exposing others. He showed the protective gear they must wear and remove under supervision whenever they enter or leave what's called a negative pressure room. It has its own exhaust system that takes air away from the rest of the hospital. Now, Dr. Hancock, who wouldn't go on camera to answer any questions, did use that show and tell to try to reassure those families and the rest of the public. We're live here along I-10 and 410. Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
It was complicated stuff for those not trained in the sciences, but critical testimony for both sides in the trial of William Perkins. He's accused in a lover's triangle murder. Paul Venema takes us into the courtroom as a forensic scientist takes the stand.
6 gunshots ended an early morning argument outside this East Side Strip Center almost 3 years ago. 34-year-old Jonathan Ashford was killed. 41-year-old William Perkins arrested at the scene and booked for murder. He admitted firing the shots. Testimony from a forensic scientist during Perkins' murder trial validated that.
Perkins may have discharged a firearm, handled a discharged firearm, or was in close proximity to a discharged firearm.
That conclusion based on gunshot residue found in his hands. Tests on the hands of Ashford showed no residue.
The conclusions are it's indeterminate if Jonathan Ashford discharged a firearm, handled a discharged firearm, or was in close proximity to a discharged firearm.
Though Perkins' lawyer claims that this is a case of self-defense, prosecutors say the lack of forensic evidence suggests this was murder, not self-defense. Murder, they say, the result of a lover's triangle. According to earlier testimony, Ashford's wife Stacy and Perkins were involved in an intimate affair. His lawyer, while admitting the affair, said it was over and the couple was only phone friends at the time of the shooting. We expect prosecutors to rest their case early next week. Then it'll be up to the defense to call witnesses to support their self-defense claim. Paul Venom, KSAT12 News.
Well, she was at the center of the negotiations. Now she's watching them die down. Before retiring, Cheryl Scully was in the middle of contentious contract fights with the fire and police unions when their previous deals ended in 2014. Garrett Berger talked with the former city manager about the new firefighter contract. And Garrett, what did she have to share with you?
As city manager, Scully saw the police contract settled in 2016 after it went to mediation. And though she's been out of city government for a year now, she's still happy to see the fire contract settled after a bitter 6-year dispute. Now, the fire union had little love for Scully throughout all of this, and it used residents' irritation with her roughly $500,000 pay to drive voter support for a series of charter amendments. Besides limiting future city managers' pay and tenure, those amendments also gave the fire union the power to call for binding arbitration for contract negotiations, which they used in July, resulting in this new contract. Scully says she feels a little badly for the firefighters. They're getting a similar health plan to what the police have and less in the way of pay raises. This despite having held out longer.
I think that had they negotiated with us, they could have ended up with a bit more. But that doesn't matter at this point. They asked for binding arbitration. The arbitrator made the decision. And so they have to live with that for the next 5 years.
Scully describes the contract as favorable to the city and said she was proud of what she still calls her team had been able to accomplish. Now, Scully also said that it was time to mend fences, and there's definitely time to do so. This new contract will last through 2024. Live downtown, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. Let's check out the traffic situation. Time saver traffic, I-10 and Frio. You can see as I-10 winds towards downtown. A backup, but no major traffic tie-ups to tell you about. This is actually pretty normal for this time of night. Bear County Elections Office getting ready for the start of early voting for the upcoming March primary elections, better known as Super Tuesday by some. It's a high-stakes election for a lot of political hopefuls looking to get on the November ballot. And they cover everything from the presidential election all the way down to local level. Early voting begins on February 18th. That's this coming Tuesday. It ends on the 27th. We have a lot of election resources on our website right now to get you ready, including sample ballots for both parties. Just go to ksat.com/VO-2020. I'm guessing that may be, okay. The primary is March 3rd. It's vote 2020. That's what I was
catch.
Like. VO 2020 didn't sound right.
Well, keeping up with dental health with dental health may be difficult for children, especially for families facing financial obstacles. It's one of the many reasons why UT Health San Antonio School of Dentistry has partnered with Edgewood ISD to offer free dental checkups for a group of students. Sarah Costa got to follow some of those students today that were getting their teeth cleaned.
250 Edgewood ISD second graders arriving at UT Health San Antonio School of Dentistry for free dental checkups. This is all part of National Children's Dental Health Month, and those checkups are going to be done by dental students and residents.
Especially in San Antonio, we eat lots of acidity, we have lots of sugar, we have drink lots of soda, and it's fun. But unfortunately, it really affects kids' teeth, especially if they're not brushing.
Why do you think it's important to take care of your teeth.
To make them get clean and no cavities.
It's really important for us to educate them and at least teach them kind of why it's important to brush. A lot of these kids come in and they don't even know that they need to brush 2 times a day, or maybe they don't brush at all, you know, and so it's just really, really important for us to kind of try to ingrain the idea that toothbrushing could be fun and dentistry is fun, and maybe we'll even get some future dentists, you know, just by giving them this really nice experience.
We have a little dentist here already.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT12 News.